said in the latest issue of Newman Chess, this match against Anand is not going to be an easy walk for Magnus Carlsen.
Okay.
And
now, we have here the game between Magnus Carlsen and Nakamura, and this is typical. They play G3 and G6. This is just
that's funny.
Almost a joke.
Yeah.
G3 is a joke, and Nakamura answers with almost the same joke.
But it's the kind of joke that Magnus likes. I remember that in one of the Blitz World Championships he opened with A3.
Yes.
And then I think he beat Radjabov in 20 moves or something, or it was something really funny.
But that is how Magnus plays. He plays the man, not the board, if you can put it that way. He's always he just focus on some things that work against that particular player. He's not concerned about objective truths, as Castro is. He's a very practical player.
And it's for that reason that in some traditional camps they still criticize him for that and say, well, that's not real chess.
Magnus is just concerned about winning the game. He doesn't care about how.
Yeah.
But now it has become a classical position in that game between Magnus and an ordinary opening. But I thought Black was supposed to play A5 to prevent B4. It is a sacrifice. Well, I'm sure this is theory. I don't know what the theory says, but
it certainly looks like Blitz to an.
But they play so fast, so
it looks like Blitz theory. Just even if you just give a pawn, he gets something. He was successful giving a pawn in the previous game.
Yes. He could have taken that pawn, Black, in the previous move, but he played E4 instead. And that means that White has saved the pawn, which is nice for him. Now it looks quite nice for White, very nice actually. I don't understand Nakamura's play here. If this is prepared, it's a strange preparation, I think. What is happening now on C5? And knight F7? No, the E5 knight protects F7. Sorry. Okay. Magnus has to withdraw to H3 with the knight.
So what is young Ludwig doing against the world champion?
Okay, he's playing an opening he knows.
That sounds like a good plan against the world champion. It
shouldn't be any worries for Jon Ludvig here, I would say. It's the other way. It looks like a very. It's not a flat position because the pawn structure is it's not flat, but it's. I don't see what the problem is for Black.
He looks fine, doesn't he?
It looks excellent. I think maybe Black is even better because he can get the pass pawn in the A line one day. And this A4 pawn, it not.
Oh, you can't do that. I think.
That's a target, but White has to play for G4 and play on the king side.
Okay, put the rook on E5. That sounds like a good plan.
I think Jon Ludvig will do great in the second half of this tournament.
Yeah.
I think the previous round was very, very important.
And you said you spoke to him in the break, and he
was happy. It's just that he outplayed Karjakin, for instance, but Karjakin declined the draw with a second left on the clock.
Yeah.
And that was when Jon Ludvig got mated. That was
that one. Yeah.
Okay.
So
do you think things are happening on the other boards here?
Well, what is Magnus doing? Is he making progress?
It's certainly. I know someone is making progress, but it's hard to tell who. It's a complicated position. It's not obvious who's better. Magnus is trying to double on the seventh rank, but Black has a flexible pawn structure, and the B5 pawn is either very weak or a fantastic strength. Actually, it looks like a fantastic strength, doesn't it? It can just push B6. But the question is E4, because that puts the pressure on the whites right away, since the c3 knight is hanging.
Okay.
So it's not obvious what is happening here.
And our other leader, Teimour Radjabov, how is he doing against Peter Svidler?
He played knight c8.
Okay. You want to look at that?
That was e4 was a very natural option.
Mm-hmm.
He played this instead, which is not so stupid maybe, because oh, I thought he had to take on c8, but he didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Because the white doubling on the seventh rank wouldn't necessarily be that dangerous. He can just withdraw the bishop to f8.
Mm-hmm.
But here, rook c4 came, rook a4 came as a surprise.
Okay.
Typical Magnus position. He will probably win this, I think.
Yeah, that's what the
In
game
Magnus style.
Yeah, you're looking at Magnus
Magnus.
Carlsen against Hikaru Nakamura.
Yes.
And you feel that white is better.
White is better, I think so. Unless he cannot take on d5 because of check on d5.
And I think, in fact, more specifically, you also think that he has good chances because it's the type of position that he plays so well.
Yes, he does. But here, this knight is very restricted. And there's not much black can do. White will play invaded with rook on d6, I see.
Yeah, that's okay.
Analyze this board here. It's not updated. You have to look at the real live board to be updated.
But it looks like a nice advantage for Magnus. So let's see what happens there. Then
did Magnus just blunder something?
Like?
Looked like he blundered a pawn. It looks very much like a big blunder of Magnus. And he's thinking that's a bad sign too. He just blundered, but he can hold it. He can hold the draw. He played too fast. He was too confident, I guess. This is a draw, but objectively speaking. But still, he has to struggle a little bit. It's not that obvious now, actually, because h3 might be a threat.
And how's Hammer doing? I mean, in his
Hammer
fight with the world champion.
Yes. Oh,
Not that.
not that one.
Not that one. Okay, let's just look at this one.
What's going on here? The king on f8.
It looks like he's doing very well.
It looks like he's doing well. He's got the pawn down and the pawn on f7 down, but his pieces are much more active. This might be very good for black. Queen e5, maybe.
Well,
He's beating the world champion.
That's what it looks like. So
Rook f, Queen f1. It's not that obvious, but it's better, clearly better.
yeah.
Just
So his optimism when you spoke to him in the break was
he's winning.
well founded.
You can just take on h3, clearly winning. You can probably do other things as well. Why not rook e2?
Yeah, this is definitely a game we should stay with, and
Yeah, because
nice
that
we
might
can-
be a perpetual. This takes no chances.
so
He's playing for a solid win without giving any chance to. He's winning easily.
and he's moving confidently, as we can
Fantastic.
as we can see on the video here. I mean, it's
it was so important. This is so important for him. This tournament, this Blitz tournament.
Yeah, and he plays without any doubts. And
Exactly.
And Fischianant resigns. That's
Okay, this is this could be the headline in some Norwegian paper, I think.
this is sensational. I mean,
Magnus has got all the attention in Norway and for so many years.
and this is what happened. Joan Ludwig Hammer defeats the world champion with the black pieces.
Yes.
So that's something, especially because Fischianant was playing very well so far.
Yes. Yes.
So okay, well, that's very encouraging for Hammer. And what's happening in Magnus's game?
Do I see 1-0 there? Is that possible? That Magnus actually won that game? Magnus has won.
Has he won? He resigned.